This is the Aspire 16 AI, a 16-inch beautifully designed laptop by Acer, powered by the Snapdragon X processor, and I gotta say, this thing packs a seriously impressive punch. Now, for full disclosure, Acer are sponsoring this video, so as such, this will be more of a product showcase rather than a review. But just so you're aware, no brand can pay me to promote something that I do not genuinely like. They also cannot pay to influence my opinion, so any opinions that I express in a video, sponsored or not, will always be my own. And on top of that, despite this being a sponsored video, I'll also be including some of the drawbacks of this laptop that I reckon could be improved for future iterations. So hats off to Acer for letting me be honest in a sponsored video. But with that out of the way, let's dive in. All right, let's start with the unboxing experience, which is pretty minimal as far as unboxings go. We've got this first larger box, and once we've cut and opened that, we've got another box inside. And by the way, Acer tells me that all the packaging inside and out is all made of 100% recyclable materials, which is pretty neat. But once that's open, you'll first notice that we've got our various power cables and power brick over to the side here, which I'll talk more about a little later on. We've also got our paperwork, and then we've got the laptop itself, which comes protected with various bits of cardboard, a protective sleeve, and then once we actually open up the lid of the laptop, there's another layer of protective material, and that's it. And with the laptop now unboxed, let's start by discussing its design. And if you've watched my channel for any length of time, then you'll know that I'm a big fan of things that are sleek and minimal, and so the Aspire 16 AI suits me to a T. It comes in this super clean steel grey color, which has just the Acer logo and Acer's AI emblem on show. It's a very minimal and clean, which I love. And the entire body is made out of metal, which just makes it feel incredibly premium. It's also super thin and lightweight, plus it has a 180-degree hinge, giving you lots of flexibility in how you use it. There's also these two large plastic feet on the underneath of the laptop, making it feel super rigid and well balanced whenever it's lying flat on a table. Then with the laptop open, you get a full-size keyboard, which feels great to type on, very clicky and responsive keys. And you also get a super large trackpad, which again is super responsive, and I absolutely adore the size of this thing. The laptop also has two built-in stereo speakers equipped with Acer True Harmony and DTS Virtual Ultra. But in real-world use, if I'm being completely honest, the speakers are probably the weak point of an otherwise fantastic design in my opinion, where the audio does sound a little tinny and flat, and it doesn't get quite as loud as I'd personally like. But that being said, if you're like me and you tend to rely on headphones or external speakers anyway, then this really isn't too big of an issue. Then we've got the display, which for me is one of the real highlights of this laptop. It's large and has a super fluid 120Hz refresh rate, which by the way is enabled by default, which is not the case for a lot of other 120Hz laptops, believe it or not. And it also has this anti-glare coating, which significantly helps to reduce reflections from ambient light sources. The only slight downside is that the brightness maxes out at 500 nits, which is honestly about standard for most laptops in this price range. And indoors and alongside that anti-reflective coating, it's actually more than bright enough. But if you do ever plan to use it outside in very bright, sunny conditions, that's when you may start having some trouble seeing everything as clearly as you might like. Oh, and just one other thing regarding this laptop's display, which is that there is both a touchscreen capable variant and a non-touchscreen version. My review unit does not have any touch capabilities, but again, it's nice that there is the option should you feel you need that functionality. In terms of ports, on the left here we have a full-sized HDMI port, which can output up to 8K. We have a single USB-A port and then two Thunderbolt 4 USB-C ports. And whilst, as mentioned earlier, the laptop does come with its own 65-watt charger brick in the box, you do not need to use that. And in fact, any 65-watt or higher charger will work perfectly here. On the other side, we've got another USB-A port, a headphone jack, a micro SD card slot, as well as this Kensington Nano Saver lock, which for those not in the know is for what's called a cable lock accessory that you can purchase separately. So lots of selection in terms of ports, although if I might, my only complaint here is that I kind of wish that this micro SD card slot was a full-sized SD card slot instead, as that's what I tend to use more often, but the micro SD card slot is still absolutely better than nothing. The only other thing to mention is this little physical privacy shutter for the webcam, which is a nice touch for those particularly concerned with privacy. Now, real quick, in terms of specs, as mentioned, this laptop comes equipped with the Snapdragon X series chipset. You can also choose to equip it with either 16 or 32 gigabytes of LPDDR5X RAM, the latter of which is what I have in my review unit. But just keep in mind, this is not user upgradable, so choose wisely if you're picking up this laptop yourself. There's also 2 storage variants available, a 500 gig variant, which is what I have. There's also a 1 terabyte option too, but both of which are PCIe Gen 4 and NVMe drives, so they're super fast and really capable. Again, not user upgradable though, so just keep that in mind. As far as performance goes, whilst I wouldn't necessarily be looking to use this laptop as a powerhouse, high-intensive editing or gaming machine, I mean, that's not what it's been specifically designed for, it can absolutely handle light video and creative work no problem, and you'll definitely get some okay performance out of it for most games as well. Now, if you are looking for blazingly fast performance, then you might be better looking into Acer's Predator gaming lineup or their SwiftX Creator laptops, for example, both of which have more powerful CPUs and dedicated GPUs, but they're also much bulkier and overkill for most users and carry a more hefty price tag too, whereas the Aspire 16 AI offers a really nice blend of solid performance whilst being lighter, quieter, and more affordable. The laptop also supports Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 5.4 and above. It also has both Copilot plus PC features and Acer's intelligent AI solutions built right in, both of which have dedicated buttons on the keyboard for quick access. And all of this combined makes it a fantastic option for productivity-based users looking to get work done more efficiently. And then we come to what I think is the absolute standout feature about this laptop, its battery life. It comes equipped with a 65 watt-hour 3-cell lithium-ion battery, which is beefy in and of itself, but then when you pair that with the super efficient Snapdragon X processor, as well as a bunch of software and firmware optimization, this thing truly does become a multi-day battery device. Acer claims up to 28 hours off a single charge, which I would say seems definitely possible with light use and with conservative settings in effect, like the display not being cranked up to its max brightness that entire time. But even with medium to heavy use, you will still struggle to kill this thing in a single day. And from personal experience, I'll go on record saying that it's easily some of the best battery life that I've experienced on a laptop to date. And so with all that said, if you're someone looking for a sleek, beautifully designed laptop with a great display, solid performance, and world-class battery life, all for a very reasonable price tag, then the Aspire 16 AI is a laptop that you should absolutely consider. Now, just a reminder, this is a sponsored video, so of course, take that into consideration, but I genuinely like this laptop and can happily recommend it to anyone looking for a capable, portable, and stylish device with oodles of battery life. If you want to learn more, I've left a link down in the description. But aside from that, thank you all very much for watching. Thanks to Acer for supporting the channel, and I'll catch you later.